the light and the darkness. Something that I'm actually really happy to talk about today, because it's something that I think is so important. I feel it's been really put on my heart to talk about, and of course, as in this channel, as a son of God, I really do love to speak about things that I think are so important. I try to really just put a lot of insight into the things that I talk about, and I think that this is super important to get insightful about, kind of dive deep into. So I want to talk today about the light in the dark, sunny and the snowy, or the sunny and the rainy, like whatever you really want to call it, however you want to put it. I want to talk about sort of the moves of nature in a way, and how it kind of applies in a similar way to the lives that we live, right? So I really just want to speak about that today. We can sort of apply the ways, the natural ways that we see nature move, and how we can kind of look at our lives as human beings and actually see how it sort of is very similar. We can kind of use it as like not a blueprint, but something that we can take as an image and motivation into how we should kind of look at life, right? I want to get in the Bible a little bit for this video today, and I'm starting right at the beginning of the Bible. I'm gonna be getting into the word a little bit today. I thank my mom for giving me this Bible, right? So literally Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, and it says, "And God said, let there be light." And there was light, right? God saw the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day, right? So basically that speaks a lot. That was Genesis chapter 1 verses 3 through 5, right? And definitely, it's like, I think that's important to think about when that's inside of the Bible, because, it's definitely true, right? As we can see within the world that we live in, there is light, there is dark when it comes to the days, when it comes to just how we move, just how we live. The day goes and start off, it seems pretty light out, and then it gets dark as the hours go by. Now, let's try and think about it even like say days. Maybe one day is very sunny. Think about seasons too, right? One day might be very sunny, and one day might be very rainy. And I was thinking about it like today, because during the day that during the day that I am recording this, it was super rainy outside. At first it was super sunny. Actually, it was warm, it was nice. It was really starting to adapt into something that we've all been kind of looking forward to for a while, because it's been fairly cold. But then right after, once it got really hot, it got really rainy not too long after, later on in the day. It's very wet outside. There was a lot of rain that happened. It's what happened throughout the weather, right? And stuff like that happens, right? And or say winter, it's going to be very snowy, cold. It's going to be more difficult to operate through in terms of physically operating through it. Sunny days, you feel more free, you feel better. You feel more just happy operating through those sunny days, because you can do more. Or maybe some people really like the cold. It depends on how you adapt. It depends on how you adapt, right? So that's exactly what I want to kind of speak about in terms of us. And it might seem a little bit, cliche, like we have our light days, we have our dark days, or you might be thinking like you're just gonna go and make that comparison and that's all you're really gonna do. But I really want to create a level of insight today in terms of just talking about looking at our dark days versus our light days, looking at our good days versus our bad days, and looking at how we can see life in the ways that nature moves, and actually have a form of almost comparison, like, hey, these cycles are normal, or not normal, but cycles happen in life. These are the cycles of life. Keep it like with all of us, every single human being, it's not like crazy that all of us, we all have our light days, we all have our dark days. There could be some people, that have just all light days, or some people that feel like they have all really bad days, or they just all have really bad days, and sometimes it comes down to your outlook, but it also comes down to just, these are going to be the challenges that we have to face in life, and it is what happens. Right now, look at it like a sunny day versus a snowy day. A snowy day is going to be more difficult to operate through than a sunny day. It'll be more simple to operate through the sunny days. You feel good, you're going to be having, it feels great to have those sunny days. We always need those sunny days, right? But also, one thing that might, make your skin stronger being in the cold, believe it or not. I used to take cold showers. That's a whole different thing, but I don't really do that now. I don't think that was the most healthy thing for me, but that was something that was difficult. Being in the cold, it can make you stronger, or it's something that physically is difficult to make it through, so it's making you stronger physically. Them snowy days, right? Them snowy days, you might get real cold, you might be really treading through that snow, but that snow is going to put you through a situation that is going to make you stronger physically. So think about it like that, and some people love the snowy days because it's more fun going through the snow. It's more fun having more of that resistance. It's more fun having that push. To some people, it's more enjoyable, right? And then think about it like sunny days. Some people enjoy more the easygoing sunny days. I personally enjoy the more easygoing sunny days, so trust me, I'm not always Mr. Up top champ. It's easy for me to get through like the hard days. No, I prefer the sunny days. I'm much better with the heat. But even some hot days can be difficult. Sometimes it's too much heat, sometimes, and you don't even get to enjoy and think about how nice it is that we have the heat. Because there's so much of it to the point where it's like you don't have a balance. There's so much heat sometimes on hot days to the point where there's no balance to make you actually happy about the heat that you have, okay? And so I'm going to speak a little bit on the inside of that today. Now I'm going to compare it, say, to a human's life. How God puts us through situations that are very, very similar to the way that he operates, or he's created nature. Very, very similar in that way. I want to talk about, again, sunny days, snowy days. We as people, this camera right here. We as people, we have good days and we have bad days. Now think about it like this. Some people, they actually create a form of, when things get difficult, sometimes some people have put themselves in the mentality where it's like, hey, this is making me stronger. I like this. Sometimes it can be like, whoa, this is a bad day. But some people really enjoy the trials that God will put you through. You can feel that they're getting stronger. Again, it's not always going to be like that, however. And, God is going to put you through a lot of tests that really are making you notice that it is a difficult thing for you, So, I want to talk about it like saying that there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days, sunny days, snowy days, or some people... Well, easygoing days, difficult days, there's going to be those, whether it's physically or mentally. It's just something that I wanted to get out today. And sometimes you really might be going through a lot. You might be going through a really, really difficult situation. And this is something that I just want to project out, is that, you're going through this difficult situation. And one thing, we all say it, but it's actually true because we all go through, really difficult things throughout life as God puts us through. You're definitely not alone. Even look at the way that nature operates. There's so many different days that go on through different seasons, different degrees of heat, different degrees of cold. Think about it like the way that nature operates. There's going to be those tough days, there's going to be those good days. God made it that way, the form of balance. Think about it like there is a God and there is a devil. And God will truly allow for the enemy at certain points in time to really attack you or really come at you because, it's going to really be difficult, but then you're going to be able to be that much stronger of a soldier. Think about it like if somebody who's really, really good with the heat ends up getting put into some cold, then they're not really good with the cold. They don't really like being in the cold, and they just don't really, they're not going to be... They're not gonna, be very happy about it at first, but you put them in the cold for a couple of days, you put them in there, of course, with balance. Don't just, boom, boom, you're staying in the cold and it's actually giving them frostbite. No, but if you give a person some of those cold days when they're really good with the heat, they're going to adapt better to the cold. That's naturally how our physical bodies work. And matter of fact, that's kind of how the mind works in a form of way as well. You know what I'm saying? So I really just wanted to speak on that today, is that the mind can work similar in the way that the physical body works, in terms of that comparison, or just physical nature and how it affects our bodies. Nature goes from sunny days to snowy days. Our mind goes from, good days to bad days, as to how we feel, our feelings, our heart. We go through those days, but those are the trials that allow for us to become stronger soldiers and allow for us to become stronger as people. And we can truly look at nature. We can truly look at what God has created right in front of us. The sun and the moon, the light and the dark. We can truly look at the sunny and the snowy, just the the spring days or just the really, spring can have rainy days, but the sunny or the rainy, just the really perfect temperature days and the really rainy days. There's so many different ways that nature moves in different ways, in different level of difficulties for us. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that even if you might not be having it might be a very difficult situation you're going through, and I just really want to say that, I guess, to create a form of encouragement, because it's not easy. And I really do want to create a form of encouragement in saying that, they're going to be, look at it like nature sometimes, like there's going to be those days where they're very, very difficult, and it could be a form of a season, and sometimes, if you don't like the snow, if you really don't like the snow at all, if you don't like being in the snow, at the end of the day, you can try and make snow angels. Hey, it might do something for you. It might make you enjoy those days because the snow is gonna be there. Especially throughout the winter season, the snow is going to be there. But, maybe sometimes it's best to really be out there. Even if you don't want to be in that snow, it's best to put yourself out there in that snow. It's best to stay in that snow. You know what God will do for us? He'll allow for us to, He will do that for us. He will place us in those situations for us so that we grow. You might not want to go out in that snow. You might really, really not want to go out in that snow. And so you might not. But then think about it, when summer comes next time, you didn't grow as much because you didn't get in the snow beforehand. So you're back in the summertime, but when it becomes winter again, you don't know how you're going to adapt. So think about it like this. God is so good that He will put us in situations where He will literally place us in the snow Himself so that we become stronger as people. He will do it Himself. And it's not for any bad intent. It's not to make us feel bad. It's not like he doesn't know. But He will allow for the enemy to come at us, the snowy days. He will allow for these difficult days to come at us to make us stronger as human beings, to make us in the spirit grow closer to Him. Because trust me, one thing about God and one thing about life is that it really isn't like so much of a sweet thing. God wants us to be strong out here. He really does. He wants us to be soldiers for the kingdom. It's not easy out here, It really isn't in this world. And this is something that I'm continuing to learn as I get older. And one thing is that we cannot filter that out. We have to acknowledge these things if we ever want to make a difference for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely just want to say today, I wanted to preach that word today, is that, hey, listen, there's going to be the difficult days. There's going to be the good days. Think about it like, how things are physically in the world in terms of sunny days, rainy days, right? Today was very sunny at first and then very rainy afterwards. And it made me think about life a little bit. So I really just wanted to preach that word today. And, I really hope this was a great one. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I thank you. God bless you. You have an amazing, amazing day. And thank you for everything that you do for the channel just by watching the videos. And you have an amazing one. Thank you, and you take care.